All right, mic check, mic check, mic check. Let's kick this thing off here. Should be able to now hear. Also see the screen. Welcome, welcome. Mr. Blue here, TradePhantoms.com. And I'll be your guide and host for about an hour, give or take. We'll go through some pre-market prep. And, of course, take us to the open at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if I see anything in terms of trading setups, I will execute them with managed risk. And we'll see what happens, what today offers, right? Carpe Diem sees the day. What is today? Today is Wednesday. I'm sorry, not Wednesday, Thursday. Let's get that right first. Thursday, October 23rd, 2025. Hopefully everybody is having a good trading week. Only one more week of October. Crazy, time is flying, etc. So it's that time of year, right? Holidays are coming up, so hopefully everybody's prepared for that as well. It's just beginning, but we got business to handle before all of that, right? So let's see what today offers. And I'll start out with options, of course. I'm sorry, futures. Or I usually just take a quick peek at the news. Again, government shutdown, blah, blah, blah. Politics being politicians. Kind of annoying there. One key takeaway here to not waste too much time on this is that we are expected to have tomorrow being Friday. I will be in the live trade room if I'm alive, God willing, in the live trade room tomorrow with you folks, the official Phantoms. We could chop it up, but tomorrow, just make sure you noted that we should be getting this CPI print tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Why I'm being weird about that is because the government is still shut down. So this economic data is kind of delayed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, however, we are getting this print potentially tomorrow. They're talking on Bloomberg at the moment right now whether this is going to be actually legit or not, as people are working right now and potentially not getting paid, et cetera. So until this government irons their BS out, right, which is never going to be the case, but we have to. But this is the world that we live in at the moment. Blah blah blah, right? Politics. We don't play politics at Phantoms. Trade the tape. We do have 10 a.m. East existing home sales. I don't know if this is even coming out or not, but even if it does, we're going to rip the tape anyways, regardless. Tape being price action. Let's kick it to the charts. And I'll bring up this document here. We're going to start with futures, but just as always, kind of like a morning prayer, if you will. I always bring this document up every single day, no matter what. So institutional demand and supply. Demand and supply is the main strategy and backdrop of Phantoms, of course. It's just the way the markets work. Okay, so it's not even a strategy. It's just the way it works. Identifying proper areas of demand and supply where the real buyers are, where the real sellers are, all right, where the big traders are. Okay. However, we have to also look at what's called a top-down multiple time frame analysis. Okay. What does that mean? Well, if you notice, I'll color code certain things. You'll see a lot of orange, yellows, and blues. That has to do with the higher time frame. So monthly time frame is a orange color code. So anything that you see in that orange color is monthly. So if you have a supply level, right, that will be a monthly supply. Demand level, that will be, if it's an orange, it'll be a monthly demand level. This is VWAP, for example, monthly VWAP. Color code for weekly is going to be yellow. Same thing, right? For example, last week's high, last week's low, highlighted in yellow, followed by color code blue, which is going to be for daily. For example, yesterday's high, yesterday's low, in terms of the daily time frame, okay, is highlighted there in blue. So monthly, weekly, daily, orange, yellow, blue. Super important, even if you are a short-term scalper. We were just talking about this in a couple of classes that we had recently this week. Somebody like, hey, I'm a short-term scalper. Do I still need to know where I am in the higher time frames being monthly, weekly, daily? Do I need to paint those levels out? Absolutely. Okay, no matter what, the higher time frames rule everything. They're more reliable, and that's where more of the bigger traders are going to be. Candlesticks, a bunch of fancy names, location and context being more important. Typically, we're going to be looking for these in after pullbacks into demand in the context of uptrends. Bearish candlesticks, a bunch of fancy names as well. Not happening in the S&P 500, for example, in the NASDAQ, but we typically would be looking for these bearish candlesticks in the proper location and context. Context being typically you want this to be in a downtrend, okay, and rallying up into a level of supply and looking for negative or bearish bars painted, closed, okay, at these areas, okay, at particular areas. Areas, what? Well, we're looking for high. This is a 5 fundamental truths. Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone, must-read book, okay? Anything can happen, rule number one, at any time. Don't need to know what's going to happen next in order to make money. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but yes, as traders, professional traders, I know that I do not know what's going to happen next. So therefore, I trade what's called a strategy with a defined edge, okay? Random distribution between wins and losses for any given set of variables, aka rules, that define an edge. An edge is nothing more than an indication of a higher probability of one thing happening over the other. Okay, so this is what we're in seek of as traders. All right, we know that we're going to be wrong. In fact, wrong often. okay? And you have to be okay with that, all right? But our job is to execute and be patient and wait for setups that are giving us a higher probability of one thing happening over the other, okay? And exploit that edge, okay? And every moment in the market is unique. So, the cliche phrase, markets rhyme but don't repeat. Of course, we're still comparing things from 1970s and things like that to 2025. Yes, there's some similarities there, but of course, markets dynamics change, right? 1970s is a lot different than the year 2025 these days, right? Let's not get into that. Two actions, buys and sells. This is what's called the liquidity map. Yeah, we break this down way more further in detail, but this two actions, buys and sells, but there's kind of four possibilities because you can buy to enter, okay, to enter into a market, which right, accumulation, but then you have to sell to exit. Rallies out if you're in profit, or if you're at a loss and you want to get out, or you have to sell to exit. So buy to enter, sell to exits. However, you can also sell short to enter, okay, to accumulate bearish trades. Accumulation, that's accumulated. Okay, and then at some point you have to buy to cover to exit. Whether you're in a profit, that would be if price action down. If you sell short, bearish, okay, you would be taking profit on the way down. All right, but if you're wrong and the market goes up, you'd have to buy to cover to exit as well, even if you go up. So if you sold short, you are now walking around, all right, liquidity-wise as a buyer to cover. Okay, vice versa. If you bought to enter to be bullish, okay, now you are walking around in life or in the market as a participant, as a willing seller at some point, whether in a profit or a loss. Again, not going to get as much in detail right now as we're going to go into the charts and trade setups right live and prepare. But this is discussed, of course, deeply in the Phantoms courses there. All right, cool. So let's kick this off with futures. Yeah. What's going on, Pinsky, Dylan? What's going on, Mark Wahlberg? 1 ounce of theory, Shane, J.O., Joe Frank. J.O.'s in the house. Got Joe Frank. If you make yourself more than just a man, if you devote yourself to an ideal, if they can't stop you, then it becomes something else entirely. A legend. I like that, Joe Frank. In other words, become ungovernable. Control yourself. That's why I love trading and investing. Complete power within. All right, so let's kick this off. Major 4 indexes futures here. No, boss. It's a boss. I'm the boss of myself and my trading and wealth, right? So we got the S&P futures upper left daily time frame. Can't even see the chart. NASDAQ upper right daily time frame, followed by the Dow Jones lower left. What's going on, Tammy? Well, now it's a theory. We got Russell 2000 bottom right. You can see futures are basically flat, down 0.07. We got NASDAQ basically flat, slightly down a little bit there, 0.015. We got Dow Jones 0.19 down a little bit there. And we got Russell 2000 was slightly up higher, 0.031. So small caps a little bit there, at least for right now, just pre-market quote at 4 minutes before 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if I kind of zoom in, I got a lot of notes here from yesterday's session. Yesterday's session was awesome, by the way. If you're a Phantom member, awesome. Hopefully, y'all cleaned up. And if you're not a Phantom member, join. And you'll see kind of what we chopped up hours and hours yesterday, where we were just selling rallies and buying to cover dips, and selling rallies and buying to cover dips. Well, we had several entries and exits just riding the wave lower yesterday. Right, so you can kind of make out that candle. It's a red bar there. All right, and here's the candle for today. Not much. It's barely, you can even see it with the notes. But even if there was no notes here, it's a very small body here, a little bit of a wick here, wick there. So yesterday we had a little bit of a drop. Followed prior to that day. Okay, so I'll take it from Monday. Okay, 10:20, because the irony with today, yesterday was on Monday's bar, which is 10:20, October 20th. That is right. We had, of course, a nice little pop up right from Friday's hammer bar here. We were talking about this yesterday in the live trade room. And then on Monday, we kind of popped up, right? And I had put a Monday's low, which was this week's low, tagged yesterday in the event that we did swipe lower, which we inevitably did, okay? And we were talking about a liquidity sweep right below here. Anyways, the point that I'm trying to make, even if we talk about Monday, then Tuesday, which was the slowest day of this so far this week, Wednesday was nice, opening up. Monday was good, rally. Tuesday, boring, okay? Up at the supply level we'll talk about. Then Wednesday, we had a nice little drop down. Today's today, right now. But the point that I'm trying to make is if I look all the way to the left, the big candle here, right from Friday, October 10th, that high and that low. Remember on Friday, if you have been trading, okay, we had this massive drop. Okay, things are quiet, things are quiet, things are quiet, things are quiet. Okay, then we had this massive drop, and that created a high and a low. And then all last week, we can keep this short and sweet. All last week, we haven't really done anything in regard to breaking it above or breaking it below. All inside bars, right? And we're still inside of Friday's high and low. and it's now Thursday, almost 2 weeks later now, right? Okay, so just be aware of that. All right, now a lot of folks are probably thinking, okay, well, this is gonna break down, and that could be the case, right? We have just you take it day by day, step by step. Okay, but this is going to create, of course, or is creating a level of supply that we already hit. We're kind of dropping away from that a bit there, right? But if I look out macro scale, we're still in an overall uptrend. Okay, and this could, at least at a minimum, okay, provide some kind of potential range, okay, which I'm expecting, right? So even though we might have some demand levels inside of here, in location wise, okay, in terms of location, I should say, we have to be careful because this is still in the middle of the range. Now, if we don't break below these areas here and we kind of hold up this I'd say upper fourth or upper third of the range here, as we should continue to base, well, this market's still in an uptrend. Okay, we could easily just potentially pop up to the upside right there as we're just going sideways. If there was so much selling pressure coming in from that Friday, we would at least potentially already have some kind of potential follow through. Okay, that could still be pending here, but as we navigate this inside bar, if you will, all this price action was inside that Friday high, Friday low. All right, we'll drop down to a smaller time frame. We'll map out our Globex size, Globex lows, do our Globex traps, so on and so forth. Take your processing system, okay? But there's a couple other things I'm looking at the backdrop too, just in terms of options, kind of more advanced stuff here. But options, market maker, gamma exposure. Today's interesting. We have a lot of sold gamma above. I'll get to that in a moment. Okay, NASDAQ, I'm going to do this a bit more quicker as well. Same thing. Here's the current price. If you can see that, basically flat, slightly down a little bit, no big deal. All right. It's that Monday's open, Tuesday, we come up in here, this level of supply, kind of drop right. Tuesday's nothing much. Wednesday beating yesterday, kind of dropped down nicely, had levels of demand in here. A couple of them got like swiped up. We took some bounces out of here. So we have some bounces here, and I believe it dropped down and went to the lower liquidity sweeps that we had prepared, as we always potentially do. All right, again, all of this is still inside of Friday's high, Friday's low, same thing. You see wicks here. Friday was a nice little, the bulls kind of showed up there, right, where we had a red bar down here. They not closed there. That was Friday, 10/17. Then we closed up here, get a nice little hammer bar here, which was provided that fall through on Monday. All right, but now we're back in the mid-range basing here. So same thing, map out our Globex high, Globex low. All right, watch out for, we already have these mapped out. We have some daily lows, etc. And this is also, this level down in here is still going to be valid there, right? And I also have referenced that Friday's low, which this is NASDAQ futures, by the way, 24,154. Put a pin on that as that is a mother bar low. And this is also what's called the mother bar high. All right, it's called inside bar. All right, we'll drop down to small time frames in a moment. Dow Jones, kind of boring in my world. Russell 2000, great market, but it does its thing, but not much more of my camp there. I love the S&P and the NASDAQ. But don't get me wrong, if you like the Russell or the Dow Jones, go at it. Go at it. Switch over to the monthly, the weekly, the daily here, just to show y'all just really quickly a lay of the land here or an outlet. Okay, no matter what, even if I am a small time frame trading futures, so we get the monthly. What's going on, Terry? Purple, Terry, OG Terry, my man. Mean Boy Coins, valued Phantom member there, my man. We got a monthly here, weekly here, daily here. No matter what, even if you're a short-term scalper trading a couple of ticks out of NASDAQ futures, still need to know where you are on the bigger picture. Can't go into much detail in regard to that right now at the moment due to time. We got the 60-minute time frame upper left. We got the 30-minute here, followed by a 5-minute time frame here, and a 2-minute time frame over here to the right. So I get the monthly, weekly, daily, and then followed by a 60-minute, 30-minute, 5, and a 2. So we break that down, multiple time frame analysis, right? Super key, multiple time frame analysis, starting with the top higher time frames first, no matter what. Popping open the 1-hour time frame of the S&P futures. Kind of busy here, right? I kind of keep the work that we did in prior day just for a quick recap for some of the Phantoms members. So spend about 90 seconds here. Here's the current price right now. Of course, this was yesterday's Globex high, Globex low. We kind of broke down, right? I went short yesterday, right? So we broke down, we could take some profits, rallied back up, mean reverted, sold short more, broke down, took some profits. Some folks were taking some bounces out of here too with these G traps yesterday. Mean reverted back up to VWAP, made a new low, took some profits. We flushed out yesterday, team, right? All right, we had this level here. All right, we flushed out. What's crazy about this is, remember, I mapped out that Monday's low. I always tell y'all, right? Watch those monthly, weekly, daily low sweeps, right? So, for example, we had a 60-minute level of demand right there, highlighted in kind of that monthly VWAP with some orange there, confluence. That's a 60-minute level of demand. And, we did react out of that a little bit there, right? With a little bit of a bounce there, but I never believe we snapped that level. And what happened? The low of the day yesterday did what? Swiped below Monday's low. And then that was the ultimate capitulation liquidity sweep, when we talk about these right below above, or right below daily highs and daily lows, liquidity sweep, and that was where we put in that low and mean reverted, then ding, 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 massive mean revert for the end of the day, closed right there. Okay, so super important to folks. For my Phantoms members, do I stress so much about those monthly, weekly, daily high, low sweeps? So here's a 60-minute level of demand that inevitably got violated, but then put in a low below that daily low. And you might be looking like, Mr. Blue, that might not even be that much of a level there. Exactly, okay, because markets would potentially fool people, okay, and break levels, but they're going to attack those higher time frames, monthly, weekly, daily highs and lows, okay? Giving too much out here on YouTube for free. Y'all better go subscribe to some Phantoms. We got folks that are growing insanely. Shout out Mark Wahlberg if you're in here, man, calling out some beautiful entries and exits among others as well. Anyways, that was yesterday. It was a clinic. Today, here's the Globex low. Mike Jameson, bro, do you use the 30-minute for trend or the 1 hour on intermediate? What's going on, Money Mike? If I'm looking at a 1 hour or a 30-minute trend, I have to be careful with that because I could be looking at a 30-minute or a 1 hour downtrend, but I need to know where I am in the bigger picture in terms of the monthly, weekly, dailies. Does that make sense? Okay, you can have a 30-minute lower, low, low, high, lower, low, low, high, lower, low, low, high, but coming into a massive level of control on a higher time frame, monthly, weekly, daily. Okay, we talk about that, right, in some of the advanced futures classes, right? But the trend is I need to identify what the trend is on all time frames, folks. Like when I go through a top-down approach, and it's not enough time to do it right now, but when I go through a top-down approach, I'm not just getting trend on a 30. I'm looking at the monthly and what the monthly trend is. I'm looking at the weekly. What's the weekly trend? Okay, I'm looking at the daily. What's the daily trend? Because I can have a monthly uptrend, a weekly uptrend, but a daily downtrend because the daily is coming down into some higher time frame, monthly, weekly demand levels, right? Does that make sense? And so once I get the monthly and the weekly and the daily, then when I drop down, right, the 60-minute and the 30-minute is just a smaller time frame within all of that, right? So I have to be aware of that, right? I have to be aware of that. I can have a 5-day down trend, right, but coming into a massive, uptrend and hitting a weekly level of demand. And then the 5-minute trend and this 15-minute and the 30-minute trend is getting destroyed, lower, low, low, high, lower, low, low, high. But I'm not going to chase that downtrend on the small time frames as I know that I'm coming into a higher time frame, weekly level of demand in the context of an uptrend. So it's called what's called a front side entry. Okay, so I might be on a downtrend on a 30 or a 15, getting slapped lower, 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 lower. Okay, but even though it's a downtrend, okay, I might be looking to get in on that bullish move down, on that move down to get bullish as we're approaching a higher time frame level of demand to trade with the overall higher time frame trend. Okay, I'll give you another example. On Friday, right? How many of y'all on Friday, potentially off that Friday close, thought that the following week, which was last week, by the way, right after 10-10, that massive bar, we already had the 13th into the 17th full week there, and the market didn't go down, right? So if I'm looking at a 2-minute, 5-minute trend within that day here, it's looking like the market's going to be crash, right? Okay, but all that did was coming down into some weekly and daily levels. Okay, and then what? Put in a low, and then we bounce right back up. And then all last week, what did we even do? Just kind of range in there, and that's because of what the smaller time frames. Yeah, got smacked a lot lower, but we're still trading in the overall uptrend on the higher time frames. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so it's not like, hey, do you get your trend on the 15-minute time frame, or do you get your trend on the 1 hour time frame? No. I'm getting my trend on all fucking time frames. Does that make sense? I need to know what the monthly trend is, what the weekly trend is, what the daily trend is, and then inside of that, what the 60, the 30, and the right, and then the 5 and the 2. I don't really care about that trend. I'm just looking for those small time frames to line up my levels and refine, and then I can attack and sniper entry on those smaller time frames as the smaller time frames are coming down into the proper location of the higher time frames. Okay. All right. So I know trend might be annoying sometimes with some folks, right? Because you haven't had an experience just yet. But no, I'm not just getting a trend on the 30 and the 1 hour. I'm getting trend on all time frames, right? I'm getting trend on all time frames. Why did this 30-minute, massive move down lower? Okay, stop right there and then go into an uptrend over here, right? Because we met a higher time frame level of daily low sweep. Okay, and then we're still in an overall higher time frame, overall up. Okay, now. After Friday, of course, that got put in. We're starting to be in a bit more of a range, which is okay. Markets just can't go straight up forever. So I would not be surprised if we just park here Q4, okay, to unwind to unwind the end of the year. Okay, always look out for that end of year potential rally, but we'll see if we get that. Okay, it's too early for that, at least for right now. All right, so right now, market's still up, but slightly range on dailies as we are inside bar for almost 2 weeks now after 1010's bar here. All right, now if you are bear, so let's get down to that right now. So we have the 1 hour time frame here, right? So Globex high, Globex low. This is my passion coming out. As you can tell, I hate this business, right? No, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So starting out here, we left off here, right? Here's the Globex low for today. Here's the Globex high for today. Fancy word for overnight high, overnight low. All right. Now I'm just going to clean this up just a little bit, but I'll keep those boxes here. So I'm just going to minimize some of the lines there. That's why I kind of go to a recap really quickly before I update. Okay. Now, do we have yesterday's low also hovering at or around here, which was also at or around Monday's for this week's low, which we swept yesterday, right? So we have to put that on the dock there. Globex low. So we have this yesterday's low. And what I'm looking for is a G trap, which is called. If we break the Globex low, look down and left for institutional level of demand. So of course, we're going to be looking for, as I just did a small little rant in regard to liquidity sweep, yesterday's low down into this area here. So again, I'll update this. So if you're looking at, say, the 6687, 6685 handle, of course, that could be potentially liquidity sweep there. However, if I look continue down and left, I want to get an area of level of demand. Okay, so that's what's going to be key here. So below here, if I look down and left, here's the current price. So if we drop, okay, of course, we have this level here, which I just mapped out. Okay, yesterday's low, but if I look down and left, we do have a little bit of a demand level here. It's really ugly in terms of formation wise, I will say. But there is a bit of a demand level there. Okay, in terms of we have a rally, there's a bit of a basing here, a little bit there, very ugly. Then we rallied out. Okay, so there's something there, right? I'll still put in a kind of aggressive tag on this. Now, the reason why I'm putting an aggressive tag on this, okay, is because the level's not super awesome, but also where this level is located, is it closer to the higher time frame level of supply or closer to the weekly lows from Friday, 1010, and kind of the lower end of demand here. This is kind of somewhat sub in the middle here, right? So I want to be a little bit careful in regard to this area here called the 6,663. All right. So this would be, I'll just put an asterisk here, kind of an aggressive, but it's going to get a good score if I'm scoring this out with the higher time frame. It's going to get a bump up in regard to the higher time frames, right? So this is aggressive just because of location in the mid, but this is going to be a G trap, meaning bullish. I understand that, but sometimes I'm getting destroyed on my high time frame zones, and I'm trading what I think is going to happen versus what is happening. Keep hanging around, Money Mike. You'll get it more and more. But monthlies, weeklies, brother. Monthlies, weeklies, monthly, weeklies, monthly, weeklies. Map out those highs and lows. And yes, like for example, too, like if yesterday I was short, and I was, even though it's still overall up, I was still down, but I was still shorting down to the downside. All right. But I was coming in right, and I'm buying the cover, right? So I still have to buy, right? So even if like Money Mike's like short and he's coming down into a higher time frame level, and right, if you're short, you can take profit from short, buy the cover. Leave some of those shorts on in the event that level does snap, right? And you might be getting stopped out of your long. So it's something called long book, short book, right? I don't have enough time to explain it right now. I'm already backed up. But keep hanging around, Money Mike. I love you, man, and I want you to get this. I want you to really understand that. But the front side, back side, if you remember from advanced futures, front side, back side, front side, back side. All right, because the red, it's hard to explain because you have to understand it, right? And of course, that's why y'all are here. But it's a time and place, right? The one thing I'll say is what you have to understand is anytime that you take a trade, no matter what, you're going with trend on certain time frames and you're going against trend on the other time frames. No matter what. So this is what you have to understand with the segments, okay? You might have a new lower low segment on the small time frame in a downtrend, but that new lower low segment is going to be the front side low of the higher time frames coming in. Okay. So again, it's a little bit hard to discuss just right now on a plain chart, and my brain's not 100% in that because I want to get prepped more to go in. But in advanced futures, we talk a lot about that, where we say, okay, we have a 30-minute downturn or 15-minute downturn. We're coming into a higher time frame. So if short, we have to TP from that shorter time frame, and we're going to do what's called a front side entry in on this higher time frame. Okay, long book versus short book. All right, but for right now, we get this 663. All right, this would be a nice little G trap. All right, that will be below yesterday's low. Not sure if we're going to get there. Okay, first little hit tag here is going to be in the, how we react and kind of respond at or around yesterday's low as well, just using Monday's low and then yesterday's market move down as a reference as well. If we break above Globex high, okay, we have this level of supply that got put in from Friday's 10-10 bar there, right? 10-10 candle, and we kind of hit it, runs kind of hit it, and it's kind of working out here, right? And you know, we had a massive base over the past yesterday's Globex was just range. The whole Tuesday bar, regular trading hours, was completely range, annoying. And then even prior to that, we were in Globex range here. So we finally popped lower. So this supply zone is actually what worked out there, right? And don't get me wrong, our financial numbers were short yesterday. We kind of rolled this down here, right? So don't get me wrong there. Now, if we were to break this Globex high, if I look up and left, now we have what yesterday's high and Tuesday's high right up here. Okay. And if we look up and left above the Globex high, you have a level of supply. Of course, we can now reference this area here for left up from yesterday, but the Friday's 10-10 drop is the source of that, at least at the moment. Could this be the high and not make a new high here and markets drop down a bit more lower and see if we break there? Of course we could. All right. However, we can't get on that camp just yet. Okay, because we haven't even broke this mid-range yet, and we could just base. And if we do break higher, if you are long, okay, we can TP up here. And if I'm looking to get what's called a G-trap short, I would need an institutional level of supply above the Globex high. And really, the only thing that we can reference is that supply level that is already kind of hit at the 6,785 level. Okay, we got some daily highs here. So just how we have a sweep low below daily lows, could we sweep above yesterday and Tuesday's high up in here, folks? Give me yes or no. And that could also be a potential G-trap short up in here. Okay. All right, does that make sense? Friday's high is 68.06. This is Tuesday's high. So you have a couple of daily highs here. How do you make money shorting? All right, you have to wait for it to rally up into high and sell short. So this could be sell to exits from longs, and this could also be an area where we could sell to have what's called a G short. Okay, where we can have what's called a G-trap short. Now this is going to be an aggressive one because it's already got tagged. Okay, and yes. We're in the still bull market. Yes, Friday we had a drop. Okay. But so far we're absorbing that at the moment. Okay. This is the test here. So if we do rally up here again, this is going to be 1, 2. This will be the third test. We could go a little more higher. Liquidity sweep above daily highs here. And then we get this Friday's high 6806. Okay. Up there for potential G-trap short. NASDAQ. Going to call you to get yelled at. I'm not yelling, man. I'm just passionate. Y'all just soft. It's called passion. Get some. You hear me? No, man, fuck that. I'm alive. Let's go. I'm not yelling at Money Mike. Well, I am yelling because I want him to learn. I want him to get it. I want him to be a professional trader. Right? I don't have time to sugarcoat shit, man. I'm not that guy. I'm a bottom line guy. Tell me how it is, man. Right? So that's just the way I am. I digress. It's passion. All right. Yesterday, blah, blah, blah. Got a Globex high, Globex low, right? Yeah, there's some drops here, some bounces, right? Blah, blah, blah. Sweeping. We had this 24,820 down here. Right. We had also a couple levels down here too. We took some bounces. This was the inevitable low. All right. I'll keep the boxes here, but I'm just going to kind of clean up the lines here. With that massive drop, there should be some more orders on the resistance. Yeah, it already hit bullish Endeavor Trader, right? There is some, right? We were just talking about this yesterday. Is there some supply up there, folks? Did we short yesterday? Yes, of course, right? And then with that drop, yeah, if we get back up there, there could be still something up there, right? Indeed, for sure. For sure. Yell at me. I'm not yelling at nobody. I don't think I'm like mad. It's just passion. I just need to grow some balls and tits. Be an adult. Globex high, Globex low. I make fun of myself every single day. So don't take yourself so serious. But when you do things seriously. Globex high, Globex low. Institutional level of demand below the Globex low. We already had this impulse basing impulse. This was like kind of the crappy level that I kind of illustrated on the S&P that still hasn't hit. But yesterday, this was the low on NASDAQ, right? So if I kind of take this here, this is now going to be yesterday's low. So watch out for a liquidity sweep. Now, somebody was just mentioning about soft. 2025 human beings are soft. I'm here to get it back. Toxic masculinity. Men are toxic until you're a firefighter and then there's a burning building and somebody needs to go save that child. What's toxic is you risk death to say it. You have to be a man for that. That's for sure. Toxicity, masculinity. Yesterday's low. If we just dipped in here, if we get deeper in there, this could be a G-trap sweep in here as well. All right, this already got tested. All right, so watch out for this level. I can see a low. This is a regular trading hours low right here. Not a daily low, but a regular trading hours low. Should be the NASDAQ low. So watch out for this right here. 24,635. All right, this is a regular trading hours low. All right, so you want to get a little bit more deeper in the zone below yesterday's low, maybe deeper in the zone. So I'm going to update this. I got what, 24,765-ish? Below this Globex low here today. All right. And, you know, if this level, just be careful. If this level, I would not put your stop loss right below here. In fact, I would almost put an entry, okay, at the 24.6. So I'd be pyramiding in on here, right? So this would be an area to pad, okay? If short, TP coming in, this we could potentially take, at least at a minimum, a bounce out of here, okay? All right, if that were to snap, you know, we got lower down here. Of course, we can reference all of this down here, but let's cross this bridge here, all right, before we potentially get down here. Don't say we can't happen. It could easily happen. We'll see that. All right, but we got these levels here as a potential some sweeps. We break high above the Globex high, I should say. We still have this level of supply up here. Bullish endeavor. So after a retest, you're saying, I don't know, man. Just when, folks. Is there a daily low here yesterday? Yes or no? Is there a daily low here yesterday? Yes or no? Yes. Watch out for a sweep below it. Is there a daily high here? Watch out for a sweep above that. Okay. Now we could just snap it and break one way or the other, but these are going to be sweeps. Right? Sweeps are just on those monthly, weekly, and daily highs and lows. We got some sweeps. All right. Doesn't necessarily have to be a retest or anything like that. I'm gonna move on though. I'm gonna move on. Gold. Monthly, weekly, daily, up, came down into this level of demand. You can't barely see it, but came down this monthly level of demand here. We were talking about this, right? Massive, right? And rising 20 PM moving average. We have this impulse, a little bit of a basing here, nice little rally out. Level of control on daily, rising 20 PM moving average. Drew like a kind of a blue box in here. I was mentioning to the team that this is going to be an area not only for day trade pops, okay, but also higher time frame and even some swing. Okay, some longer term trading. Sold a ton of puts on GLD at the 350 handle. I even locked some in more yesterday. Okay, as we are coming down, implied volatility is up on GLD, calming down a little bit there. Okay, but we had referenced this massive area right here in blue because it's a daily impulse basing big impulsion move. Okay, so this is one of the things that we were talking about in regard to. Okay, we have like some 60-minute levels of demand up here. Okay. We dropped down, we kind of respected some of them, right? But these levels of 60-minute level demand were not at a higher time frame, meaning that the daily level of demand is all the way down here, and the 60-minute level of demand that's inside of the daily location, okay, is going to be a lot more reliable, okay, as we have multiple time frame analysis. Okay, so if you notice here right now, gold put in a low of 4020, 49, 4020 ish, right? 420 ish, 4020, and this wasn't even the greatest level of 60-minute demand here. Okay, right? There's better formations even like right here, impulse basing impulse, which we had a little bit of pop right here. Okay, but this one is the low so far that gold put in, and that reason being is because it's a 6-minute level demand. It's not even the greatest level, but because it's located inside of the daily impulse basing impulse. Okay, markets inevitably were too high. It started to come down, break some of the 60, bounce off the 60-minute demand, 60-minute demand, and really break that because we need to come in deeper into the dailies. Okay, does that make sense? Now, for today, we have a Globex high, Globex low, which I'm going to map out. I still have, and I would say even on YouTube here, 3950, okay, futures. This is where I have or am going to load up massively, okay, even on some gold futures, okay, for a potential what's called liquidity sweep. I don't have enough time, especially right now. I got 6 minutes before open. I got so much to cover, okay, but just keep a note on that 3550 handle for some potential liquidity sweeps. Now we're not going to be potentially getting that today here, probably not. But if I look at the Globex low, which is here today, Globex high here today, gold's already starting a potential breakout. Still macro up. Needed a deeper pullback as we needed. Okay, needed to things to get too hot up here. Now we have a Globex high. Now one of the things I'm looking for here today, if we do pop, okay, anybody who's already long gold, good. We can just start to take some profit. Here's yesterday's high, so make sure you if you bought low down to these demand levels down in here, you want to sell high at least at this kind of short-term, small, intermediate, and of course this is a daily high, right? So I peel off some target orders if you're in. Now for a Globex trap potentially, because remember, it might just go straight all the way back up, but this is still going to potentially start to have some alignment here. So you have like a kind of plan A, okay, which is already potential some front side entries in here, and you'd be on the front or in already for the potential what's called backside alignment on this side. Now, we're starting to begin to get alignment over here, but be careful. We could also have another swipe, which I have that planned 39.50 if that were to be the case, okay, which I'm hoping for. However, for today, if we break this Globex high in this yesterday's high, notice how we did have a bit of a breakdown right here on gold, right? We had a bit of a breakdown. So, what was once kind of, demand holding up here, right? This is the bigger pullback here. We had a equal to high, did not make, quick little new higher high right there, right? That's why I always tell folks, right? Equal to or a new quick little new higher high, make sure you TP. Then we had the drop, okay? But then we broke this level here. So what I'm going to look for is inside of this, okay, is the supply flip, okay, if we have that, right? So over here, you can see that was the demand. That gray box represents that. And then this is going to be kind of like the flip area, if you will, on the other side. So call it 4240 gold futures. This could be used as an aggressive G trap. Now, if I'm short in gold, is that still a counter trend trade, team? If I'm shorting gold, that is a counter trend trade. So be extremely careful with this. And if long, this would be where you would take profit from longs. Yep, Mike, and we were on that that daily demand zone on gold. See, you're good, bro. You got the higher time frame sorted. Good job, Money Mike. Yeah, I did a second round of sold put yesterday on GLD for the 350 handle. I got the 345s yesterday too, so I'm rolling down a bit, which is good. And we're gonna I picked up a little shares too in one of the accounts that I got long term, just a little bit. I also have a couple of base drops up here too as well. It's a nice little base drop here. All right, so it's like, okay, dropping, markets come down, right? The battle, fight. Bulls, bears, sellers one at least right now, leaving some residual kind of supply here that would need to get absorbed. What did he just say? Go to class. How do you know? This is what I do. All right, there's some levels in here, right? It's a little sneaky guy here too. I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. Right above 4,300. All right, if long TP, you could potentially take a counter trend, mean revert short in the event that we rally up into these supply levels here. All right, if we break the Globex low, pick your poison. Any level kind of deeper in here is great. If we get down to 39.50, just know Mr. Blue is getting longzo bullish. That's gold. We got 2 minutes for open. Never enough time. VIX. Sorry. VIX. If you don't know what the VIX is, you're going to need VIX body rub for the pain that you will inevitably take at some point in your career. Volatility index. VIX. Don't have enough time to explain this, that's for sure. Keep it short and sweet. VIX up, market down. VIX down, market up. Opposite correlation. Opposites, opposite. A lot more to the VIX complex. But let's just keep it there for now. Map out the overnight high, overnight low, just as we did in gold, NASDAQ, and S&P futures. Right? So what was the VIX doing yesterday? We rallied up. So as the VIX rallied up, kind of up, down, up, down, up, down, but inevitably we started to rally up. So as the VIX goes up, market was down yesterday, right? So if that continues to be the case potentially here today, I kind of put in the lips there, see how that works. And then I got where I last saw it, which was right there. Then I put in kind of a circle lips down here. If the VIX, right now VIX is up 1.83%, nothing crazy there. We'll see. But if the VIX starts to come down and remains lower and kind of grinds lower, that could be more bullish for the market. Again, opposite, right? However, if the market, if the VIX comes up, goes up, and sustains that kind of with a trend or spikes and remains up above on the spikes up, that could be more bearish for the market. Again, opposite correlation. Got the open right now. Not enough time. I did build up what's called a call put matrix for my team. They'll kind of know what I'm talking about there on SPYs. I do, J.O. Indeed, brother. I do. You almost have to. I'm not much of a bond guy, but you have to pay attention to what the bonds are doing in regard to the overall markets as well. But indeed, sir. All right. One of the things that I did not get through just really quickly. Anybody still long those Google long calls from yesterday? Well, I don't want to waste time on that right now, but that's looking decent. I wanted to get to this. A lot of here's where we open a lot of we're in a negative. There's a lot of sold options here. This is what's called options depth. We're in negative gamma, so it could be pretty volatile. Now this is all mainly sold options here. So if the S&Ps potentially begin to rally, market makers have to buy into that going up. So that's one of the things that I'm looking for potentially today. Could go low before we go higher though. This will take you too much time. Let's get some internals. VIX on a down click. Advanced declines, positive 622. Not extreme, but above the zero line there. VVIX is holding up 106. Vol D, there's more up volume than down volume at the moment. Positive -3 is extreme. We're at a +3. Too early for cumulative tick. VIX down slightly. Broadcom putting in a Y bar range there. So we're already above. We're above. We're above all this sold gamma from market makers' perspective. Interesting. Google no follow through. I sold some puts on Tesla. I did took that premium and did a bull call spread. So I'm basically probably just going to break even on Tesla earnings. I sold a bull put. I sold a bull put credit, took that premium and just bought a deep out of the money debit. So didn't really move much. So I'm just going to. It's probably just going to be a break even on that. Didn't really. Tesla was a dud. So I have a willing to own put spread lower. That's just going to cancel out the bought debit. IBIT has a little decent gap there. Fell. IBM had earnings as well. Moved down. I got to buy some more shares on that. I'll get to that. And that's a long-term investment trade, so I'll discuss that. So IBM dropping is good. AVGO holding some bids here. Dell looking decent too. Good alignment, Joe Frank. Man, AVGO is just in such a weird spot. It's been acting weird. It's really choppy and rangy. But holding a bid here on smalls. All right, so I'm going to get long some AVGO here. Spot's trying to hold some bids too. At least for right now, AVGO. See, positive COG. So what are we trading AVGO? 42 handle, 342s here. So if you pick up maybe the 345 or a 40 delta, if you go a little bit more, you pick up the 47 half for a 30 delta. Any one of these are pretty fine. Pick up the 35 here for 347 long call. Meta. I'm going to grab some long calls in some spies. Let's put this here, AVGO. Meta giving a pop. Meta might be better than AVGO. Semi's a little odd here sometimes, recently over the past couple of weeks. I gotta get long call spies. I'm a little bit late on it. This is AVGO. I'll update the notes later. So spies, right? What are we trading spies? 668, rounding up 669, right? So if I wanted to get a 1 point out of the money on this, you can pick up the 669 strike. These are going for about $1.40 here. This would be a long call, S&P 500, right? For on SPYs. All right, VIX on lows. All right, so if I pick these up, this is the 669 strike call on SPY. $669. All right. Meta looking decent. All right. Now that we're moving up a little bit here, I gotta update this real quick. So I'm gonna put the 669 here. I'll take this, Control V, backspace, put this to the 70, and then backspace, Control V, put this to 71. All right. And if you wanted to roll these and continue to press this negative gamma, you can also pick up the 670 strike call, SPYs. All right. So I just picked up the 670 strike call, and these I have these 669 strike calls as well. I've got ABGO. $92. It's kind of already popped in a profit. Not anymore. NVIDIA. I'm trying to go. Microsoft having a bad day. And I don't know why this premium chart's not updating. This is actually trading down to 170s right now. That should get better though. Not a new high. Tesla. So this is long calls, right? What, 669, 670 strikes. We'll see if there's some follow through. On this, some TPs laid out here, take props. We'll see. ascending targets, right? Fang is choppy. All right, so you see even intermediate, I got a 30-minute time frame over here to the left. So we see I don't even need a box. I don't need to put a supply level box on this. I mean, we're approaching some smaller time frame intermediate supply, right? So should we have sell orders up as we get up into this area here to take profit if long? Indeed, right? So like here's the long spies, right? It could actually be a little bit of an add too so far. Pullback on VWAP. So you can put some limit orders in here. Let's see if we can get like an 89 bid here. All right, and have some take profit orders. Like if we make a new high, take some profits, right? Amazon pop. So should we take some profits of some TP orders out here? I'm going to peel out a little bit of the other account over here just to kind of get the cooking started. All right, TP some long calls on spies. All right, you see that? TP, TP, TP. All right, y'all getting this? Y'all getting it? All right, y'all getting it, TP? Nice little pop. All right, nice little 30-40% gain there. 15 minutes off open. Yeah. All right, let me unload a little more. Arguably one of the easiest trades that I ever took in my life. TP AVGO, pop. Meta, new high. Amazon. RIP to the YouTube guy that said Amazon was going down to like RIP, bro. Right at the fucking sweep. Classic. AVGO's TP. All right, AVGO, nice. Nice pop AVGO, nice pop NASDAQ, S&Ps, and Meta. If you snag that, noise. That's just going good there. On call on that. Yeah, TP those SPY calls. Just spent some time on that. Is anybody else having trouble with the AVGO? Who's running the AVGO pit today, man? The AVGO market maker filler today sucks. Did I say that out loud? Meta. Googs. I'm gonna call those Googs. From yesterday. All right. Nice. TPTP. Let me I'm gonna here's something to mess with your mind. What if this bar right here was just one green bar, but it's a fake and it's just gonna fade and come lower all the way there to today? It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I'm telling you. No, you never know. But what if it does? So I'm gonna let go a little bit here. We're about to get a new high. Lock out, TP some more of these. Google daily high, TP some. Lock out some more spies here, yeah? So hopefully y'all caught that with like some of the 2 strike prices there. I kind of rolled some delta there. So nice little pop. All right, the 671. Now, really, what you can do is have TP orders above here to take profit on new highs, right? As I have to right now. I'm going to put some pullback orders in too on pullbacks lower. We also have to see what's going on higher, see what we're coming into. We have negative GEX above us, so this is why market makers are going to be buying into this, which is going to potentially push price potentially fast. Google new high, Meta new high. All right, TP some more of these calls here. All right, hit it. All right, take some more out of these 670 calls. All right. Smooth is good. For my Phantoms members, was that an easy trade or what? Was that an easy trade or what? Come on. Easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. Q's. Gonzo. All right, some kind of pullback will be pending here. So unload new high. I'm going to TP, get these high watermark here, right? Even if you just dump a contract or so, fair game, right? So happy you grabbed that 2 strike prices there. So kind of missed some cues there, but got 2 legs here on spies here. So let me dump some of these here. Nice ripper. Short yesterday, long today. God, I love this business. How can you not? People are just starting their morning and it's fucking Thursday. I'm loving shit. I love what I do, man. My job sucks. What are you going to do about it? Learn something new. No, I don't have time. All right. Well, remain at your suck job then. Don't complain. Shut up. Do something about it. Learn a new skill. How about that? Change it. No, you're sitting on your fucking fat ass doing nothing. So shut up. Nobody wants to hear it. Change. Adapt. Uh-oh, Mr. Blue's TED talking. No, I'm not. want to end this session soon. That was easy. Even missed a couple of setups on Fang, but Fang's been wild, y'all. So we're just looking at Broadcom equal high. Let me grab that because I don't know. The filler on AVGO today and the options pit fucking sucks. That guy hates his job. So let me. Well, I got this thing here, somewhat of a decent bid to sell into. Let me hit it. Yeah, you hate your life, you hate everything, and then you ain't doing shit about it. I'll never learn this. Just stop saying stuff like that to yourself, man. Do you think it works? You think I'll get it? Well, you got to take the risk to find out. Otherwise, 5 years from now, you're going to be stuck at your same bullshit-ass job that you fucking hate. Even more miserable. So you got to do something. Do something different. Learn a new skill set. This is a skill set, baby, right here. Skill set. Skills to pay the bills, man. All right, I digress. Shut up, Mr. Blue. All right, I'm out of here. MU, yeah, semiconductors. Man, my man Greeny's, I don't know if Greeny's in here. Phantom member. He's a quiet beast, quiet assassin. He's not so quiet, but he's a monster in a good way. He loves SMH, man. So the thing's probably popping. SMH kind of gets every. This is the ticker. This is the ETF for the semis. Just kind of has everything in it, like NVIDIA, MU, AMD, TSM. This thing's ripping. So we got AVGO. MU is probably going insane here too, right? Nice, good one. Good one, Kurt G. He's another monster in a good way, man. My man gets it. My man gets it. He got the skills to pay those bills, baby. Good one, brother. Good one, go on, go on. This is good too. The long-term folios, man. Beautiful bar put in there. MU is actually a lot more stronger. And this should be in the long-term. It's late now. This should be in long-term portfolios. SMH, NVIDIA number one, of course. TSM, 10% of asset weights. Got some AVGO in there. AMD. Yeah, this does have MU in it. This ETF's insanely awesome. I'll copy and paste that in the chat there. MU, good one, brother. And Q's new highs, if long TP some. Nice little rip. Reddit with Beyond was, yeah, of course, man, of course. It's the same stuff. Reddit, a pump, a dump. It's the same shit, different year. Same shitty ass stock. They all just play against each other, man. On Reddit, that's all they fucking do, man. They fucking play against each other all day. No process, no system. I'm sure some people made money, some people lost money, but that's not I need something that I can have a business and process through many years. I can't make a living off of fucking Reddit hype every day. Can't do that. You could, I guess. You could try, but I'm trading where the big money is. Professional products where I can build systems and strategy and edge and deploy. Now, don't get me wrong, I have my fair share of degeneracy sometimes there too, but it's just high risk, stupid stuff that, okay, if I'm wrong, I'm risking that. Don't get me wrong, I've had a couple of those trades, man, of course, right? but it's kind of speculation, just on the side, having a little fun, but never risk royal money. Should jeopardize my career over a hype stock, right? Anyways, on this pullback, let me give you a last look at options depth, I guess. Yeah, Joe Frank. Today is super interesting. So now it just looks like there's just some, wow, all just disappeared. Wow. So make sure you're decreasing some size up there, right? Just pulling back. Hopefully I'll decreased. All right, I'll pull back here. So nice. Looking to just potentially add into some. My Phantoms members will know. But wow, looks like, look, now there's just one massive spread up here. So that changed quickly. So we might have just got paid from all those sold calls that were here. Probably just had to get all bought out. So, and we bought these calls. So that nice little pump, that's probably all that sold call negative game of buy to cover to get out. Interesting. Now it just left one massive. This is massive because making this look super small. This is one just massive bear call spread here, 67.50. You got a pullback entry right now. You could potentially add. We're trading 70 handle. So you could potentially buy the 1 point out of the money and add to the roll your delta. You could potentially add into the 71. What's Victor doing, however? I just added to some SPY longs. Let me grab that in a second. All the all right, we can go lower. This is the 671. Just rolling my delta. So go lighter here. Light add. First 30-minute print is in. Green bar. We have some supply up here. We have TP. Let me go over here because this is on SPY where the notes are. Exactly, Joe Frank. And that's why a lot of people don't understand the bigger picture within trading. It could take you maybe 3. It could even let's say it takes you 4 years to master the skills in your personal journey, and you're only going to get better continuing on that. A lot of people don't see the bigger picture with that. The money's not going to come at first, y'all, right? In anything in life. So you got to learn, and you got to go through some stuff. You got to go through some pain for trading. It's just the reality of it. Nobody wants to hear that, but I'm telling y'all, you'll have to go through it. I've gone through some stuff. Okay, it's like almost the university of the higher power testing you to make sure you are ready and capable to go through that and learn what you need to learn coming out of the struggles of learning how to trade consistently, right? But the point is like when you get that long-term view of okay, I'm doing this for the rest of my life. So if it takes me even 2-3 years or whatever to master this, that's okay because now you have a lifelong skill set that you can deploy, right? So the money comes. Money comes when years and years, right? The money, all of a sudden you're just going, and you all of a sudden next thing you know, it's like the years will get better for you. It's like, wait a minute, like why does it seem so much like I feel like I had so much struggles trying to grow an account, but now it just seems not like that anymore, right? Because you're getting more consistent, you're building the skills, right? Get your strategy, your execution, your plan, etc. And you just keep on deploying that, and you'll start to realize that yes, okay, now I get it. It's a business. Okay, you have to consistently work at it, right? Get your skills up. Markets are constantly changing, right? And it's just a business. Operations, process systems going in, process systems going out, okay? And that's what's going to keep you in this business long term. Anybody could have a good year, right? 2020, insane, right? off Reddit, that guy, right? Crazy stuff happens, but how are you you need to be able to do this professionally as a career going forward, right? You can have a hype stock here and there. Okay, but what's your strategy? What's your system? What's your products that you trade, right? Like Forex, futures, options. I trade everything, even crypto these days. But I'm operating off of a rule-based system that I could scale and plug in it and play. All the other stuff is kind of on the side there. With a pool of money that's like, okay, if I lose this, I'm comfortable doing that. In terms of like a crazy hype stock, AVGO TP, but added to some long calls here, right? What did I pick up? The 671 strike? We'll see if we can get a break above fade here. We'll see. First 30-minute bar print is in, so we got bar high, bar low, and we shall see if we can get an equal to or higher high. If not, if we break VWAP, watch out for this little guy right here. But if this breaks later in the day, then this might not be good for bulls, right? So I'll do another round of adding down in this area. I got the 671, so we drop down lower, okay? As we go from, say, the stock price of let's just round up to 670, right? If we drop down to 669 down in this area, I'm not going to add the 671. I can add to the 670 strike, because if I drop down, I want to get to what's called closer to the at the monies. All right, so I already know that we drop down here. If I'm looking at the 670, just take a peek at the VIX. VIX is on an uptick, but it's still hovering at lows. The OD changed a lot here. MU, let's go. Oh, I forgot to tease some profit on AVGO. I just mentioned that, but I got to do it, actually. Good job, Curtis, man. Kurt, my man. Oh, my fills on AVGO are terrible. There you go, too, Dad. Good job. You're done. The psychology part is what's fucking killing me. Every loss makes me want to quit. No, Anthony, don't quit, man. I suggest you not. So if I go to SPY, over here. So we dropped down to 69 level. So I already have an order to get in here. So basically I'm still long these, by the way. I decreased a lot there as we had this little TED talk or whatever. But if we were to pull back into this level here, right? Side of the blue box right there, that would be what basically I'd be re-entering these basically at essentially like $1-ish, 95 cents, give or take. I already have that bid in there at 90 cents, 89 cents, whatever, because I wanted to get this little bit of a pullback for that pop up. So you can just keep that there. I could just throw another order in here too, buy for like maybe $1, so you get that back in there. So if this drops down, this is the 670 strike. Okay, 670 strike, because if we drop down, I want to get closer to the at the monies. Okay, so you just put in a bid there, even though we'll be a little bit below VWAP. Okay, we get that level over there, right? So don't want to get stopped out like right below VWAP, and then that's not the best case there. So we'll see in the event that we do snap VWAP, that blue line right there, we can potentially look at this level. Okay, see what we get out of here, and if not, okay, if this starts to break, then things potentially might be changing. But for right now, we can throw in a bid there for the 670 strike. I'll throw that in for $1. Why not? All right. Ichimoku. All right. If you want to learn how to do this, then you got to go to a certain website. What website? www, it begins with, and you put a dot. Then you type in TradePhantoms.com, takes you here. Most retail traders lose. Let's help you fix that shit. Love that. Register now. 55 years. What the? Thursday, October 30th, Halloween Eve. Nice. 7 days from now. You put your name, email, phone number, all that. Click attend to get sent a link. If you hit register, you will be hosted by Mr. Black or Mr. Green. About 90-minute session, give or take. Here's an agenda. Y'all can read. I barely can, but hopefully y'all can. All professional traders on this side here. Not just about stocks, futures, forex, options, crypto, even now these days, right? Of course. Whether you're just starting up, growing a small account, we have people that are like, it's still in high school trading custodial accounts. Not to bring age into it, all the way to folks that are in retirement, managing their wealth, right? And everything in between there, right? So come one, come all. If you check it out, we'll see how we'll show you how markets really work in terms of demand and supply. Okay, institutional demand and supply. And if you like it, great. If not, that's cool as well. We'll still do our thing here. Shout out to the team already, Phantoms. Y'all are growing, so we're just gonna try to continue to kind of recruit talent, if you will. And see if we're a place for you, and if not, that's okay. That said, I'm gonna bang out. I'll see some of y'all later today in Thunder Thursdays. We have 2 classes later today, and then God willing, if I'm alive, we'll clean up house for Friday's trading session as well. Now, of course, we're not done here today, but tomorrow we're going to be in our live trade room as normal scheduled. No schedule changes today, so I'll see y'all later. Trade safe. Don't give back all profits. Remain patient. Remain disciplined, and know when to put on risk and when not to put on risk. That said, God bless. Take care. Blue out.